Hello, everyone, and welcome to International Broadcast Media TV Network. We're the Smart TV Network, and welcome to the World Edition News. As the world has seen a climb and rise in COVID, um, we're all suffering right now. And also, is just impacting all of our family lives. We're struggling a little bit here at the network as well. We're not complaining about it. We're going to be here as much as we can to bring you the news and bring you information from around the world. Now, today is just a very special day here in the United States because it's the day before Thanksgiving, which is, a lot of people kind of take off early during the day and they start preparing the meal for tomorrow, preparing and planning and getting things ready so that traditionally, have family over, or you get in your car and you take a road trip and go visit the family. So many things are happening today in the United States as well as in the world. Also, something I have noticed is, the Bitcoin, it's going up as well. So we've got Bitcoin, we've got many things that are happening that are just, part of the world right now. And given that all of this is happening, my teammates are busy taking care of things as well. So, what do we talk about today? So let's kind of rehash what we've been talking about this week. We had a wonderful guest on our show who was the author of, on Economics Monday, that is, who's the author of The Millionaire Next Door. What a beautiful person to meet with and learn about how he came about this book, how many books were sold, just so many things. But that's what we're about here at IBMTV. We're about inspiring the power of positive thinking. We're about inspiring people to get out there and become financially fit, physically fit, mentally fit. And during the time of COVID, that's just been very difficult. But, if you take a look at all of these things and some of the amazing people that we have brought to interview on IBM TV or International Broadcast Media, you will see that that's what we're about. These people are inspirational. They get out there and they do things. They don't just come up with a great idea. They go, you know what? I'm going to execute on it. Now, a second book has been published by one of the co-authors. Now, there were two authors for The Millionaire Next Door. If you have not read it, it was Thomas J. Stanley and, of course, William D. Danko. And William Danko came out with a second book. And you need to watch our Economics Monday to find out what that book is. I'll also try to post it here in a minute. But there are so many amazing books. One of the ones that inspired me was Think and Grow Rich. And then Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I found out that is actually a required reading amongst juniors in the world, where they're trying to teach junior students financial literacy. But there's so many things going on in the world. Our presidential election is over. Well, not quite over. There's a lot of disputes going on about it right now, but the president-elect for the United States has appointed his cabinet. The president leaving us, who is President Donald Trump, has been cleaning out the house, basically. So there are so many things going on in the world. There are other presidential elections going on in Jordan. As we learned, there was a presidential election. There are, I think, and in China, they just congratulated President Joe Biden for winning the election. So I guess the world is now accepting President Joe Biden on this issue. The other thing that has been brought to our attention are the vaccines. And I also noticed that one of the pharma companies has just admitted to being guilty of some things. So we'll have to dig into that a little bit. But meanwhile, we need to take a look at some of the things that we need to be doing to move forward. And that is just being positive about ourselves, accepting the fact that the COVID is on rise. For those of you who don't believe in it, try to think it this way. The countries that are getting past the COVID situation are the countries who accepted it, who had policies in place for COVID, and who are definitely paying attention to what is necessary to be done. If we take a look at the numbers, I think these were a couple of days ago, maybe 2 days ago, you can see that they were on a significant rise. And I have to look back. I always say, you know what, let's take it 2 weeks back to find out what could have caused this significant rise. And 172,300 new cases. Okay, total deaths in the U.S. alone, 263,687. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, there were 972 new deaths reported. So this is something that you have to take very serious. When I look at what the world is doing, the U.S. is doing compared to the rest of the world, India is climbing rapidly with 37,410. So what can we do to slow this down a little bit? Some of the things that we have been learning from the doctors who have been on our show and doctors that I've spoke with is that treatments, right? We've become better with treatments. You don't want to overwhelm the medical industry, so we want to contain the spreading. And this is something that Holmes Stoner comes on our show and discusses, is that we desperately need to contain the spreading. It doesn't mean that you're going to stop it. It just means you need to control it. And best ways to do that are consistent testing. If you test positive, please self-quarantine. Take the precautions not to get out. Please wear a mask around people. Wash your hands continuously and distance yourself. I mean, these are just, courteous precautions. But we've heard testimonies from doctors where they have tested people COVID. Their patients were tested positive, and then they go to the store that night and they see that patient at the store not even wanting to wear a mask. And how is that respecting the other people? How is that having that spirit to control the COVID? How is that controlling the COVID? And it's not. But anyway, so that's where we are today. If you take a look at the statistics, we are looking at a lot of people. I guess eventually we'll all have it or get it. We still know that it's worse on people who are high risk, with high-risk diseases. This was an update from yesterday. Let's just refresh it, see what it is today. So it jumped up a little bit from 2 days ago, or yesterday actually. Somebody one time asked me, how can you have this kind of number scheme, right? 47,000 recovered, or is that 41 million recovered, 1 million for deaths, and 60 million coronaviruses. It doesn't balance out, but you still have people who are sick. So you have to take in consideration that number as well. If you take a look at the chart, and you can see a significant spike. Some of the things that we're discussing on the world news and on IBMTV is, why is this happening, right? And a lot of the doctors think that it's because a lot of people, they had a lot of celebrations going around the world, And during those celebrations, people kind of set aside the risks and just entertain themselves, not putting in place the practices that we've been trying to instill. And again, I don't believe, and of course, I'm just one person in this world. I don't believe that this has to be forever. I just think that we have to get in these practices, and we have to be aware, looking forward, as to what are the precautions we need to be taking for not just us, but for our children and their future. It doesn't mean that we're going to have to wear masks the rest of our lives. It just means that we just have to be careful. We have to think ahead, kind of like a diabetic person, right? They have to test daily or maybe 2 or 3 times a day to see where their sugar levels are. And if their sugar levels are wrong, then they have to take the medications or the precautions necessary to adjust them. People test daily their blood pressure. I believe that in the future, we're just going to be doing daily testing of our immunities, right? And making sure that our immunity's up and making sure that we don't have any of the viruses that could cause a potential spread. And I do believe that these test kits, if they're not available now and just waiting for FDA approval, they're in line and waiting to be manufactured. I believe that they're going to become affordable. And this will become our way of life. But we have talked numerous times on IBMTV, International Broadcast Media, with many doctors. The key to surviving this particular virus is to build your immunity. Another one of the doctors, he comes on our show routinely, and he talks about quercetin. He's had about 100% success rate with it from the last we spoke, but he truly believes quercetin is one of the treatments, and it's just an over-the-counter supplement. You've had doctors say that the asthma medications are working. Some doctors say prednisone works. Some doctors say it doesn't because it adjusts your immunity cells so that they can't fight back. So there are so many unknowns out there. Some doctors are having success with some things. We've seen them say great things about some medications and treatments from pharma, and now they're saying, no, let's take those away. That's not it. I think there was a lot of knee jerking in the beginning because it hit so hard and fast. I don't think the proper precautions were taken, but I wasn't in their place, so I'm not going to play the sideliner. I do know that in January, there were a lot of reports generated, not just about what the virus is, how it spreads, that it is spreadable for 2 weeks before you have symptoms, and so many true facts that they already knew, but nobody was heeding to those warnings. They weren't looking at the fact that when they were counting numbers on that day, that it was probably 4 weeks in the making because the person was probably sick for 2 weeks before they got tested. And in the beginning, if you guys recall, it took almost 2 weeks to get the test results back. In some cases, longer. But now we're down to, from what I'm told from one of our guest panelists that comes on our show routinely is Home Stoner, is that the test results, they're just there. So looking at the stats and looking at what's going on, I think that we have a wonderful thing going on here. If anyone has anything they wish to ask or text, feel free to do so. I don't know if anyone else is joining us today because I don't know how they are, it might be just the holidays. But anyway, I'm here to bring you guys the news around the world, and hopefully we can bring some other people in to join us, and we'll see where it goes from there. Anyway, anybody else have anything? If not, I think I'm going to play some videos here in a minute. And Not easy directing and talking at the same time, but I'm sure the team's getting a kick out of this, that I'm doing everything by myself. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're left taking care of things while the team is out because they're sick or not feeling well. But I'm reaching out to people who normally join us and seeing if they can join us. Um, all right, so let's see where this goes. But anyway, I am going to try to pull up some news videos or a video of what's going on, and we'll continue discussing news. I can just read it, actually, but I'm sure you guys can watch it from other networks. So in-depth stories. Here we go. What are the top in-depth breaking news stories? Fox News. We don't, do we want to report from networks that haven't been fair to one person or the other? Scarce of new COVID drug poses dilemma for doctors over who to treat. So I'm wondering, okay, how do they do that? If there is such a high rise in COVID and you don't have enough treatment drugs, how do you treat people? Now, as we know from Dr. Moskowitz, who is a doctor from Harvard, he said all you need is quercetin and just take good care of yourself. All the other doctors say, your things like turmeric. We've heard that turmeric has been a help in getting through the COVID. We also have heard that vitamin C. Dr. Yu said that he went and got a vitamin C IV. So there are so many things that are out there that I believe that can help you. Sometimes you have to get out there and figure out what is going on. But so anyway, but I guess that what is going to happen is we're going to play a commercial here of the World Leader Summit. You can go to the World Leader Summit and raise money for your business. You can go to the World Leader Summit, which is December 7th through the 16th, and meet people. It's all virtual, but you can still meet people. And it's a great way to network. And there is a coupon code that you can get from us to attend for free. Well, there you go. That's the World Leaders Summit, and I recommend everybody go out and take a look at what is happening there. We kind of walked through the website the other day, and it was pretty fabulous. But anyway, today, Pfizer and BioNTech is going to submit an emergency use authorization request to the U.S. FDA for COVID-19 vaccine. That was actually on Friday. I don't know where that is going. There's not been any updates, but they are not just submitting this to the United States. They are including Australia, Canada, Europe, Japan, and the UK. The plan is to submit applications immediately to other regulatory agencies around the world. There are I gather other companies with vaccines. What's going to make one company better than the other? I don't know. I'm a little leery because generally it takes 3 years from, what we know, 3 years to generate a vaccine and get it approved. And, I know a lot of people who are not interested in being test subjects for any of the vaccines. So let's take a look at what's going to happen. I mean, what would happen if you can't? So anyway, the other thing is that we've got a lot going on here. So who can guess what's going to happen next on COVID? That's what I'd like to know in the world news. What is going to happen next? Because we're not here to tell you just what we think. We would like to know what you think. So anyway, directing, producing, hosting, all at one time. That's the way we do things here at IBMTV. I don't know what's going on, but I do know the show is going on. We're going to talk. I'm going to share with you one of our best shows that I dearly love. It's with Sasha. They're all good. They're all really good. I like it because it's unique and different. It's Chess Stars. It is on Saturday afternoons. And here's a little message from Chess Stars. So, and that is our beloved Sasha from Canada and Russia. And anyway, so anyway, so that's where things are. We've got a lot of other things going on. One of our other favorite shows you guys can watch Sunday afternoon, and it's about whiteboarding your ideas as a team. This particular group of guys, they whiteboard TV shows, superheroes for TV shows, ideas for movies, ideas for books. It's great. It's fun. Here's their intro as well. And you guys, this is all about the world news, right? Learn how to whiteboard. If you want to learn how to whiteboard, these are guys to watch. Anyway, so that is Talking Upstream. That's a great place to go learn, watch to see how you would whiteboard ideas together. That is a lot of fun because you can partake in the conversation as well by texting them some of your ideas. But listening to somebody build a superhero story or pretty fantabulous, because as we all know, a lot of superheroes, they go from movie, TV, games. So there's so many things you can do with whiteboarding, but you can take this whiteboarding concept and use it for anything, and it's just going to be great. Another one of our worldly great TV shows is Inspiring Financial Literacy, which is something that Nick Palaveda and I started Money Master. Well, Nick started Money Masters PBS. I met him at a PBS hackathon, and his idea was to inspire financial literacy, to inspire people to become financially smart so that we can close that gap between poverty and sustainability by raising the bar, not lowering the bar. And all too often, when we go out there, we want to adjust the policies, and the rich always feel like we're trying to lower them down to. So what we want to do is we want people to start thinking and becoming more sustainable themselves. But as we know, a lot of the policies are written so that it's very difficult to become sustainable. So some of the things that we're doing is bringing TV shows that will bring you awareness, but inspire you to think about how you get beyond these things. And all of these TV shows began from people who came on our shows and realized, wow, this is a great way to get exposure for these shows. So Financial Friday is definitely a great way. It's at 1 o'clock Friday afternoons. And Fred and Mark are really good at sharing with the public some wonderful, wonderful things. So I'm going to recommend everybody watch this Friday afternoon if you're still digesting your turkey the next day or eating leftovers. So anyway, so that's the financial literacy program, and I highly, highly recommend watching that. Meanwhile, there are just so many things that go on in the world that aren't COVID related, right? That are other problems that people have. And one of the greatest inspirational people that brings awareness of all of our other problems, and he does so with he just says it like it is. And we call him Brother Mike. And he has a TV show called Mind Closet on Friday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have to remember to use what time zone, people, because we are a global network. But Mind Closet is literally about that. Bringing out of the closet all of the things that we should so that we can clear our minds. And I love Brother Mike. Dearly need to get him on some of these shows during the week. But Brother Mike brings out all of the awareness that we really need to be thinking about, from women's suffrage to political issues, worldly, that are bothering us. So let's, Brother Mike, you need to go watch it and understand what's really going on in not just our world, but in our mind. And there you have the Mind Closet. We've got some great intros here. In the beginning, we had to keep our intros under 30 seconds, but as we've grown and expanded with our technology and tools, we've been able to allow the intros to go a little bit longer. But that's what's been fun about creating IBM TV from ground up is, we started out with technology being here in our limited resources, and how everything's kind of grown and changed. And sometimes that change occurs. You don't really realize the gap of the change of how much was going on at this time and you were manually doing to how much is happening now. So a lot is happening, a lot is growing, and we have celebrity shows. We have Mind Closet is just, it's way cool if you get a chance to watch it. There's another show that comes on that brings out the awareness of disabilities of people. Again, one of my favorites. I don't know what had happened to her yesterday, but again, sometimes when you're working globally and live with people, things happen. We weren't able to get her show up, but it's Win with Win. She's a fabulous woman who has cerebral palsy. She has not let that stop her from getting out there and being a voice, a committed voice for disabled people, a committed voice for lesbian, gays, bis, and trans, a committed voice for diversity and inclusion, and a committed voice for women. And here's an introduction of what. And wow, that is such an inspirational show. One of the things Win is really great at is she makes a commitment and she keeps it. When she says she's going to set a goal and get 60,000 viewer hits, she did it. So Win is just very inspirational. She doesn't let those challenges get in her way. And I look forward to seeing her next week on Tuesday evenings. I'm thinking she's 3 to 4 Tuesday evenings on IBMTV. So we actually had people call us yesterday and go, is Win okay? So again, this is all the other great things that we need to be focused on in the world, not just about COVID, not just about what's in the news that you see every day, but what's in humans. Right? What do we need to know every day to sustain ourselves? One of the great things that this TV show has brought me is an appreciation for other cultures and worlds. And not that I never appreciated them, but when you got the leaders, pitting against each other, this country's this and that country's that, and there's building gaps instead of bridges. We kind of sit there and fall into that flow. And one of the things that was happening in the beginning of COVID was the separation with China, right? Which I guess there's always been that separation. But we made connections with people from China. And wow, you know what, people? The people of China, they're nice. They want to survive just like you and me. They go to work every day. They pay their bills every day. If they can't work, they pray for work. Some of them have a religion. Some of them have a religion like ours. Some of them have a different religion, but it's the same. They pray, right? They have spiritual feelings, spiritual beliefs. They also have a culture similar to ours. They eat, right? They have medical needs. They have businesses. They have music, lots and lots of music. But the people in China, they want to be just like you and me. They want to survive. They want to sustain. They want to live a quality of life. And sometimes our leaders lead us opposite from that. We don't have that quality of life. But one of my favorite shows that taught me this, and again, like I said, we're about the world news, but we're also just about the world. Okay. It could be, we could sit there and worry about the news every day. But what I have learned through international broadcast media is there's more to it than the current news that we hear. That is nothing but getting everybody into a drama and uproar. And it was Vivian's China that, who was an intern for us, that kind of opened my eyes to we're all equal. Wow, there you have it. And we have our guest here. Well, not our guest. Oh my God. I've missed him. He hasn't been around so long, but he's in backstage right now. He's all dressed up in a suit. I don't think I've seen Ankit in a suit. We got Ankit, people. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening, good morning to everyone. And it's world news for us. What do we have today?
So actually what I've been doing is sharing with people all the other world things that we can be doing, because we discussed COVID in the beginning and how it's in the uprise, just like Bitcoin, right? Again, a conversation yesterday. But then I decided, you know what, people, there are more things in the world than the current news that we hear. So we share these things every day from all over the world. And so what I was doing was inspiring people to go out and take a look at some of the other things that are happening in our cultures and in our world, and just sharing. How did Wing come up?
I don't know.
So, but you know, everybody, we missed Win yesterday. We're gonna find out what's going on with Win next week. But
So
sometimes
she messaged that there is something. What she got occupied with, and she's extremely sorry for.
yeah,
Something happened again. So she will try to. Either we'll reschedule the timing, or we'll have to do something else. But she said, "I'm really sorry." So
oh
that's
yeah,
all.
we know, but we understand. This is a lot of things going on in the world, and we understand this. But here's what's funny, and well, not funny. Interesting is I was getting phone calls. Where's Win? I leave after watching your one show. I come back, you know, I go get something to eat, to sit down to watch Win. I like Win.
That's a good compliment. Yeah, that's a good compliment for us.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good. I mean, I never expected to get a phone call going, "Where's your TV show?"
And even I got a message from one of our, one of our all-round producer, and he told me that if Vin is not available, I will go up and cover up for Vin. I
Yeah.
told him, I told him that it's already late. Because we are half past the show, so maybe next time we'll try to do it. Because if we would have done, if we had known earlier, we could have done a show. We could have let anyone else to do that, but it's already half past that time, and that was a difficult
Well,
time to
we
get
we
back
were
to something.
we were all on waiting. So, but she didn't know. I mean, and sometimes things happen. This is why I tell people. Sometimes, and Kid and I, sometimes we're beaming in late because technically things didn't allow us to, or, but we're there. That's the thing. We're there. We hold the show up, and we continue the conversations. Regardless of what rabbit holes that go down. But that's the thing. But this is what I was trying to tell the world. There's more going on than COVID. We need to take precautions because it's affecting our families. I am aware of it very much so now. And some of the things that I have been inspired to do is that we need to look into what it's going to take to get, I think, at-home testing. I think that the vaccine is okay, fine. I just honestly, Ankit, I just don't think it's going to work. I think it's an ultimate push to try to bring people faith and comfort. But looking at all of the things going on, I just I don't think we just need to be just doing something to bring people comfort and maybe a dangerous shot in a lot of people. I think testing,
Well, I'll tell
isolate.
you what. I mean, I was reading about the testing yesterday, and surprised to me that a lot of people are still not sure about the testing. I mean, I'm not talking about the medical industry, but generally, there are two kinds of tests: antigen and RT-PCR. What is the difference?
The PCR is more accurate in what it gets out of the nose, and the other is your blood and antibodies. So that's the
No,
this
no, no. So antigen is more about antibodies, and that
that's
is
what
not
the
much
antibodies.
accurate. Yeah, that is not much accurate. I mean, according to the reports, they give more false negatives as compared to false positive. On the other hand, RT-PCR is more about testing when we used to do it for SARS and MARS, and that test gives us a picture about how much infection and virus you have in your body.
Yeah.
So that tell us that I mean how much is the possibility of virus in your body, and based on that they will plan your diagnosis and stuff like that. And what happens is that in a lot of countries they are doing antigen testing because it's easy, it's cheap, and it can be done really easy. But antigen is not successful, or it's not 100% efficient. That means there are a lot of people who are negative but they are positive if they are
Right.
doing antigen testing, and that's again a problem. But if you go to an RT-PCR, it's still more accurate, and it tells us that about the virus and about the infection. But still, it's you can't say it's 100%, but it's very close to 100%. And but because of those, about the politics and how many testing you have to do and stuff like that. So a lot of people are opting for antigen and not RT-PCR, and that is
So
also a problem.
and the thing is that I think the old test kits are probably less likely. Holmes has come out to say that the new test kits that they have are much more accurate. They test different things and are intended to test. But again, just like a pregnancy test, right? You test the more you test, the more odds are you're going to find out whether you do or don't have it. But if you test positive, then you go get the next test. I've heard that there have been a lot of false
This is
positives.
Yeah, and there is one more interesting fact I got to know yesterday. I mean, I was talking to a pharmacist, and he told me that because when I was talking to them, he got a call, and that person said that I was going somewhere, or I went somewhere, and I was in front of a COVID patient, and all my family members were in contact with that patient, with that COVID positive person. What should I do? So pharmacist, prescribed a medicine which I don't know because I have never heard about it. And he told that if you take that medicine, you are trying to secure your immunity so that you won't get the symptoms. And I was like, is that a medicine? Is it in the market? Because I didn't know about it. I know that if you are in front of that COVID patient, you have to be quarantined or you have to isolate yourself. But so they're offering some medicine which I can't reveal on the show because people will start taking it. But there's a salt they're taking it just to make sure that they won't get COVID. But I was like, this is a big news because I have never heard about it. Then I did my R&D and stuff like that. Then one of the doctors, in fact, not one, a lot of doctors around the world, they are prescribing a set of medicines as a package for those people who have little symptoms so that they will be free from all those viruses. But I'm not sure how effective is that. But so that means there are a lot of best practices going around to make sure that how we can be, how we can save ourselves and save our people and stuff like that. But also, a lot of people don't know the difference between quarantine and isolation, and that means from past 8 months we are not sure what's happening because I think either the awareness is not there or there's a lot of false negatives or false news going on, so that people are confused at what they need to do and stuff like that. So
Well, I just always say watch 93 Days. It's a true story. Tells you exactly how to quarantine. I've always felt like we needed to test, isolate, quarantine, make sure those people don't go anywhere. Utilize the hotels because there's so many of them local. Make a deal with some of the hotels. Put your
yeah,
doctor staff there. That way, that doctor staff is properly equipped with PPE, quarantine medications. Most hotels have, a restaurant that they can serve food, right? So you can turn the hotels into a medical center, but then we self-contain. We contain the situation quick. That that's the biggest way we got rid of HIV, right? We never really learned how to cure it. And like you said, Dr. Moskowitz, he's come on how many times and said, just take quercetin.
Yeah.
So you're gonna laugh at me, but I have taken it before to get rid of an infection and it worked. So I found out that I may have come in contact with somebody who has COVID, but like through distance, right? Like I wasn't with them physically, but it may be, right? So I've started taking quercetin. Why not?
You won't believe, I mean,
Why not?
and Kim, I mean, same thing happened with me as well. I mean, I was in contact with the COVID positive twice in the past 1 week, and I'm not sure what to do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm taking the medication, but it's still, I mean, you have back in your mind that what will happen. I mean, you have to make sure that because you live with the family, and then it's not about you, but it's about taking care of the family, and it's always bothering us. But I mean, that's what it is. But we have to make sure that how we move forward and do the right things, and that's what people forgot about, doing the right things. And basics are, I mean, using the mask and wearing whatever the protective gears you have, and just try your best to do that. And that's what I'm wearing. In fact, I got one more. I got those glasses for me. I'm using those glasses whenever I go out, and that is also helping us to safeguard your eyes as well. So I'm using that as well.
What kind of glasses did you get? Just
Just give me a moment. I'll show it to you.
Okay. Anyway, so people, it's all about maybe sometimes taking control of yourself. And that's some of the things that we inspire here is, with financial literacy and physical fitness, financial fitness, it's all about your own self-disciplines. But there's nothing wrong with taking control of this a little bit. Call your doctor. Who knows? You know what? If it weren't for a pharmacist telling me one time, if you're taking this medication and your doctors haven't warned you, and if this happens, get to a hospital right away, I would not be alive today. I actually think I died that particular day when that situation happened. They got me to the hospital. I don't remember much after that. 14 days later, I'm come back and learn how to walk again. But sometimes medications can cause these problems. So always talk to your pharmacist, because quite honestly, I think sometimes the pharmacists are cross-referencing things. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Looking sharp. That actually looks attractive.
Sure.
I like it. Does it fit?
And you have your mask? Yeah, perfectly fine. I mean, you won't, I mean, it doesn't, I mean, you know that you are wearing glasses, but you can wear it for a long period of time. There is no strain. And then you have your mask. So you are safeguarding yourself and doing the right thing.
So with your mask, because, I learned how to fold mine down so it doesn't fog my glasses. Are those fog resistant, or do you have to adjust your mask so it doesn't fog?
I have to adjust it, because I mean sometimes it happens with that. But I mean, there is a way to, I mean, you can wear it like this, so that you can avoid the contact with the mask.
Okay.
So I mean, it all depends, I mean, how you want to do it, because they have different. I mean, they mentioned that you can wear it like 3 to 4 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, I mean, people do. So generally,
that's
it's like
really smart, because but you know what, when we had Dr. Dewan on, I asked him about what happens when COVID gets in the eyes. We talked about it at great length. Yeah. And it was so funny, because somebody was on the show with us and they were like, nobody's ever talked about this getting in the eyes. And I go,
yeah.
Been in every report. The news doesn't talk about it, but it's every report I read. And we've talked about it since day one on IBMTV. But it was so funny, because he, one of the things that was comforting to know is that it is a little bit different than when it gets in the eye than when it gets in the nasal areas.
Yeah.
One of the things I do know about the eyes, because the eye duct, there is drainage from the eye duct straight to the intestines. So it goes straight to the intestines. I learned about this one time when I accidentally got something in my eye and I got nauseated for days. And the doctors explained to me that that's what happened. It went from my eye duct to my intestines. So that's what you have to be careful of. But what he shared with me is that it gets infected like conjunctivitis.
Oh, okay.
And so if that happens, and when that happens, you need to, that's why he said you should just wear the glasses. Then protect yourself better. But he said it takes 9 days to get rid of it from the
Wow.
eyes. 9 days. And that he uses regular treatments for conjunctivitis. So, that they do regular treatments for conjunctivitis. Very, very smart. Do you do anything for your ears?
Nothing much, but I try to make sure that I use earbud. Every second day to make sure that if there is something I can remove it. That's what it is. And also, I'm using a lot of oils to be put in ears and other. On the body, so that we can do it. In fact, including nostrils, because if you keep oil in the nostrils and then you wear a mask, then you are filtering yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So just small basic things, and whatever we have discussed with all our doctors, including the Ayurvedic doctor, and taking the right precautions and getting the immunity booster and stuff like that to make sure that we are at the best possible rate. Because Delhi is one of the focal points of COVID in India right now. We have a new policy from the Ministry of Home Affairs, which controls a lot of, home affairs including the COVID matter as well for the states. And they are coming up with a new plan for containment zones and stuff like that. So it's like, so we are fighting it out and making sure that we are at the right track.
Well, and I think that's the best practices is to definitely figure it out and figure out what works good for you. Like you went and got the glasses. I have safety glasses, but one of the doctors said that you need to make sure you have that special shield to protect the eye. So, but definitely out of practice, I still gargle. Yeah. Like Dr. Hughes said, I feel like it. Personally, I just feel like it helps, whether it does or not. But none of these hurt, right? These things don't hurt you. Like you're taking more vitamin C's. That's actually better, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with building up your health, your immunity, and just getting things in place. So you're wearing a jacket today. Is it cold there?
Yeah, it's winter time now. It's winter, so it's just like that, and that's why we have more cases. Winter, pollution, COVID, and then the bad sentiments after the Diwali festival. So lots going on. So we're just trying to protect ourselves. In fact, we have a big wedding coming up in a family, but we are avoiding to be a part of it because of the COVID thing. But lots going on, and we have Mark Lee joining us from Durham.
Durham. That's right. You could get away with it by saying the triangle. But,
yeah.
But Mark, how's it going? Batman, how's it going?
Doing good. Just helping in, seeing that Anki was looking all sharp in his jacket and everything. So he's looking real sharp. I'm going to go spend some time on Thanksgiving tomorrow with my mom. So that'll be good. I've seen that I've got you'll get a kick out of this, Anki and everything, but I got a picture. I'll have to send it to the team from my brother and my nephews. They've got a pet dog, and I'm not convinced it's a dog. I think it's a horse. Because like I said, the picture was of it being swallowed up by my nephew because he was sitting down playing with it. And all you could see was, like, speaking of glasses, you could see Julius's glasses peeking out from the dog and everything because it's only, I think, 5 months old, but it's already much too big. But that's who we're going to go up, me and the nephews and the dog and my younger brother. We'll head up to Mom's house either late tonight or tomorrow for Thanksgiving. But like I said, when I saw that picture, I'm going like, is this a dog or is this a horse?
There are some dogs that get that big. And a friend of mine had a dog that big, and his daughter would climb on the top of it. Yeah. I guess she thought it was a pony, but she would also get it to come over to the windowsill, and she would climb on its back and stand on its back and look out the windowsill.
Yeah.
So there are some big dogs out there.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, it sounds like fun. To get out and do some of these things. Are you going to be hosting your dinner party?
I am going to be hosting a dinner party. We've actually got some good guests coming on. Sand Griffin, who will be on, is a motivational speaker. So she was actually a person that I met through a couple of channels. So she'll be on. And then I've got a gentleman that will be coming on as well that's in that same kind of motivational field. So we've got two amazing guests. As a matter of fact, I believe that the one of the guests is also involved in the medical kind of thing. So we'll see what they've got to say about the medical front. But we're definitely looking forward to having at least 2, maybe 3 folks at the dinner party. That's actually why I said we'll leave at maybe around 7:30 this evening, because I told my brother that was going on, and he was like, "Nah, do your show. We'll go either late tonight or we'll go in the morning." So he was definitely being very cooperative as well. So that was great that he was willing to do that. So like I said, we'll either leave at 7:30 this evening or first thing in the morning. But definitely looking forward to a good dinner party. And we've got some good mystery guests. All I'll let you know is that one of them might be coming from the world of news. So they might be somewhere tied into journalism and something like that. But that will be our mystery guest.
Well, and that's what we need, more of that. And, you know, Mark, what I need from you is I need to somehow or another get your intro up here so I can show it sometimes.
Okay.
Because when I run out of things to talk or need a break, I try to play other people's intros, because really what I tell people is that, you know, yeah, we talk about the world news, but to me, what is really important is the world message that we're giving in each of our shows.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Each of our shows to me is world news.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And you share so many great things. We're getting ready for our other show, Startup Wednesday. And I'm hoping Mark's we call Mark Batman whenever we run out of people that, you know, he seems to help us fill in some gaps. And
like I said, if you need me to pop into the Startup Wednesday, we'll be glad to do that. And like I said, I'm always glad to do that. I was also got to give a big shout out to our good friend, Brandon. So if everybody goes to thebrandonscott.com, they will see that there is actually some swag that involves me and everything. So we've got a cup and everything. We've got a cup for Straight Talk, because I couldn't do it without my friend Dean having at least one product. I know it's not an IBMTV product, but the rest of them are all shows that are here on the network. So we've got cups. We've got, I think I've got an iPhone case. I've got I don't have a pillow. I got to talk to Brandon about that. I need a pillow too, but I do have a T-shirt and I got a hoodie. So we've got about 4 or 5 items. And if they go to brandonscott.com and they go to the IBMTV tab, they can find some product there, and hopefully they can support our shows in that way. So like I said, he did put that up and it's up and running.
And Brandon is a key branding person. Yeah. And he works with us, but I'm so happy. And you know what? Y'all did this in less than 24 hours, right?
Yes. Yep.
That's what Brandon's like this, right? Yeah. Whenever you tell Brandon, let's do something, you know, shout out to Brandon. Thank you. Yeah. Because that's what we're going to do. We're trying to get, you know, and help raising money for the producers that are working on here, but also over the holidays. If you want some really cool items from the talk shows, they are going to be available. They are available at Brandon Scott, because right now we're modifying our website. Right. So why not? Because Brandon's building these things. And so big shout out to Brandon. I like the fact that he just doesn't sit around waiting. He gets it done. So yeah, I'm going to have to go check out the coffee mugs. I like coffee mugs.
Oh, yeah.
And I like shirts, you know, like long sleeve shirts, but I'll go check it out and see what's going on. And but we've got to wrap up and head over to our other show. We want to thank everyone for joining us here on the World Edition. We'll see you on Startup Wednesday. Everyone, please have a safe Thanksgiving. Keep in mind social distancing. You know, you don't have to give up your traditions, but social distancing is probably very, very still important. Wear a mask, constantly continue washing your hands, build your immunity by taking good vitamins and supplements. And once again.
So the question I got, I know we're wrapping up, Kim, is when I get the dog and the big furry dog comes here and everything, do I need to find one of those masks for the dog, and do I need to put a mask on the dog as well? Or what are we going to do with the furry dog?
I'm not the person to ask, maybe a doctor or a vet. But I am told that animals can transfer COVID. I think that we need to look out for everyone's best interest, but definitely maybe we should contact a vet and find out. Maybe if you know a vet, we can have them on the show and share it. But thank you for that question, because that's a good question. But meanwhile, everybody, get ready for your Thanksgiving. Don't give up the traditions. Just be careful.
Oh
And
yeah.
we'll see you tomorrow.